Hi, my name is Ben, and I'll be presenting on how identity is shaped through our use of architecture, and how recycling of buildings function is an effective method to retaining the heritage of a landscape while allowing it to grow and adapt to the requirements of modern day. Identity is an essential element to our humanity, built through our relationships, heritage, and values. Our individual identities are how we define ourselves, and we place that same importance on our environment. Architecture is a powerful tool in forming and symbolizing a city's identity and expressing its culture. Architectural superstructures are the mecca of tourist attractions, and are great examples of how architectural form can be impregnated with a culture's identity. At a glance, these famous structures represent their country of origin and what they openly celebrated. Though the design of the form may have initially been considered to represent the desired culture and history, it is the collective memories and experiences of millions of visitors, local or foreign, that establishes and impregnates an identity within an architectural form. Arguably Australia's most famous architectural form, the Sydney Opera House has become extremely valued in a short lifetime. A variety of numerous performances and events the Opera House has played host to has culminated in a vast wealth of memories made by Australians. Symbolising how identity is established through our use of architecture, the Opera House's heritage and identity adds to the performance. To be a part of or even attend a performance at the Opera House is a significant experience for Australians. Though the same performance may be seen at a different venue, it just wouldn't be as special as being at the Opera House. So could we apply the same concept to where we live? If you take two similarly functioning apartments, one in a new standard apartment block, the other in a recycled department warehouse, what's more appealing? For the same reason you would rather see a performance at the Opera House, the recycled warehouse appeals to us more. The already established identity and heritage of the renovated warehouse adds an X factor. We value this form of identity and heritage so much that we protest when our valued architecture is threatened to be demolished, even if it serves no function. It is from this that laws and acts ensuring the preservation of our valued architecture were established. For my home of Perth, Western Australia, a framework giving the public a voice for preserving buildings known as the Borough Charter was first introduced in 1979. As a result of the late introduction, Perth lost a lot of its colonial landscape to the development of the city. From this, Perth lost a part of its identity. Illustrated by the two images, present-day Perth is almost unrecognisable from its not-so-younger self. Imperative to a culture's history is its architecture. In demolishing its architecture, you do the same to its heritage, effectively making a citizen a stranger in their own city. The active heritage listing offered a great solution to preserving our city's identity and beloved architecture, though placing extremely high value on our built forms does come with a downside. The stringent restrictions of redevelopments can cause issues when finding an interested party with a proposal that meets all the requirements and gains public approval. Often this process can take years, even decades. In this limbo state between owners, buildings decay through lack of maintenance. East Perth Power Station is a prime example of this. Operational from 1916 to 1981, the station was a vital part of Perth's infrastructure and is highly valued to its citizens. Sadly, no proposals have met its heritage requirements, and to this day it remains undeveloped, but the decaying shell of the power station is still more valued asset to its citizens than a brand new development. Though if this hurdle is overcome, something truly special can be created. A building's function has no limits. A former treasury can be a hotel, so too a former taxation office. Recycling a building preserves its already established identity while providing a new platform for it to create new memories. Our heritage is a rich story of how strangers in a strange new world adapted and survived to the hostile environment. The memory of these early settlers are impregnated within the architecture they developed. In losing its colonial aesthetic, Perth citizens have lost the link to their colonial heritage. Repurposing architecture pays homage to the heritage while demonstrating how our culture has adapted to the requirements and demands of modern day. Our memories are heavily interweaved into our environment. Architecture is our greatest tool in conveying these narratives, even to ourselves. Visual cues of a landscape that played host to our first kiss, first concert, or any significant moment replays a memory once lost or forgotten over time, like a rediscovered photograph. Without a familiar landscape, memories, individual or collective, that form our city's identity would be tragically lost. It would be a terrible thing not to be able to identify with the place that you call home. From this, the importance of heritage is established. As for my home of Perth, if it is to establish an identity of a culture who values and cherishes their heritage, then we must start integrating the recycling of buildings more diligently into the planning of our city.